The year is 2327, and humanity has spread across the stars, establishing colonies on distant planets, forging alliances with several alien species, and maintaining a delicate peace. Earth, now an influential force in the galactic community, has kept to diplomacy, focusing on trade, exploration, and knowledge exchange. But a new threat looms, an aggressive alien species known as the Kthar, a war-hardened race with no patience for human diplomacy. The Kthar demand that Earth hand over its advanced technologies, seeing humanity as a threat to their dominance in the galaxy. The Earth government, led by President Maria Soren, rejects their ultimatum. The Kthar retaliate with a swift and brutal attack on a mining colony in the Outer Rim, killing hundreds and sending a message: humanity's influence will be crushed under the Kthar boot. The initial shock of the attack spreads like wildfire through Earth's colonies. News of the destruction reaches the homeworld, and people begin to rally behind their leaders. However, President Soren understands the stakes. This isn't just about one colony, it's a declaration of war. Earth's response will shape its future. Soren calls for an emergency meeting with military leaders, intelligence officials, and diplomats, all gathered in a secure facility beneath Earth's surface. The Kthar have proven that they do not fear humanity's might. But Earth will not submit. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Commander Elijah Knox, a decorated officer with the Earth Defense Fleet, is stationed on a cruiser in deep space. He is tasked with investigating the Kthar's movements and gathering intelligence about their fleet. Knox, known for his keen tactical mind and ruthless efficiency, begins to piece together a picture of the Kthar's military strategy. He realizes that the Kthar will not stop with one colony, they plan to sweep through human space, subjugating one system after another. The invasion is just beginning. But humanity is not without its strengths. The human race has always been resourceful, adaptable, and unyielding. Even though the Kthar have superior technology and a larger fleet, they underestimate the resolve of the humans they are trying to crush. And they underestimate the ingenuity that has carried humanity to the stars. As the meeting in Earth's capital comes to a close, President Soren makes a bold decision. The Earth Defense Fleet will take the fight to the Kthar. Rather than waiting for the Kthar to reach Earth's doorstep, humanity will go on the offensive, launching a preemptive strike to disrupt the Kthar's forces before they can gain further momentum. The plan is dangerous, risky, and will require every ounce of humanity's military might. But if it succeeds, it will send a message to the galaxy: humanity is not a race to be trifled with. Back aboard his cruiser, Commander Knox receives the orders. His mission is clear: lead a strike force to sabotage a critical Kthar supply depot located on a remote asteroid. If they can cripple the Kthar's logistical capabilities early on, it could buy Earth some time to rally its forces and prepare for the larger war to come. The human fleet jumps into the void of space, heading straight toward the heart of Kthar-controlled territory. In the midst of the chaos, the question remains: will humanity's military, though smaller and less advanced than the Kthar's, be enough to halt the oncoming storm? This war will prove whether humanity can truly stand against a galaxy of giants, whether they can push back and make their mark, or whether they will become just another footnote in the galaxy's history. The human fleet, led by Commander Elijah Knox, edges closer to the Kthar's asteroid-based supply depot. The asteroid field surrounding the target is dense, creating a deadly maze of rocks and debris, perfect for ambushes. It is a calculated risk to send a strike team here first, but it is the only way to buy the precious time Earth needs. On board the flagship Resolute, Knox stands before a holographic map, studying the asteroid's defenses. The Kthar are known for their brutal tactics, and their outposts are always heavily guarded. His fleet, though well-trained, is outnumbered, and they cannot afford a prolonged engagement. The mission is simple: infiltrate, sabotage, and retreat before the Kthar can mount a counterattack. Lieutenant Olivia Cole, a seasoned engineer and one of Knox's most trusted officers, prepares the sabotage devices. She's not a soldier by trade, but her expertise in human technology has made her indispensable. Cole is tasked with ensuring the devices are set correctly, with a time delay that will give the strike team enough time to escape before the Kthar realize what has happened. As the fleet approaches the asteroid, the tension is palpable. The hum of the engines and the soft beeping of the communications system fill the silence. Every officer and crew member knows the stakes. A failure here will be disastrous, not just for their fleet, but for the entire war effort. Knox is aware of the pressure. His reputation has been built on his ability to think under fire, and this mission is a test of everything he's trained for. The strike team, led by Captain Valeria Diaz, boards a stealth shuttle designed for deep penetration into enemy territory. The shuttle, coated with a special cloaking material, is nearly invisible to enemy radar. The only risk is the Kthar's ability to detect anomalies in the asteroid's electromagnetic field, a potential weakness the humans are hoping to avoid. The shuttle drifts silently towards the asteroid's surface. The seconds tick by slowly as Knox watches from the Resolute's command deck, his fingers drumming rhythmically against the armrest of his chair. Then, a voice crackles through the comms. "It's Diaz, reporting in. We're in position, Commander. Preparing to deploy the charges now." A collective breath is held. The time for subtlety is over. Diaz's team is already inside the perimeter of the Kthar depot, setting up the explosive devices that will cripple their supply lines. Knox knows it's a gamble. If they're discovered even a second too soon, they'll be overwhelmed. But just as the last charge is being placed, disaster strikes. A stray Kthar patrol ship detects the shuttle's faint signature and locks onto their position. Without warning, a series of blasts rocks the asteroid. The Kthar have discovered them. "Abort! Abort!" Diaz yells over the comms as gunfire erupts. The team scrambles to make it back to the shuttle, but the Kthar are closing in fast, and their armored soldiers are closing in on their position. Knox's mind races. The fleet is still too far out to provide assistance, and their cloaking shuttle has little defense against the Kthar's formidable weapons. His gut tells him to retreat, but his heart tells him that he cannot leave his people behind. "Captain, fall back to the extraction point." "I'll launch the counterattack," Knox orders, his voice cold with determination. With a curt acknowledgement, Diaz's voice cuts through the static. "Understood, Commander. We'll hold them off until you can provide cover." On board the Resolute, Knox orders his fleet to engage. Their primary target is the Kthar patrol ship that initiated the attack. It is time to show the Kthar just how dangerous a cornered human can be. The battle ensues. Knox's fleet surges into the fray, launching a flurry of missiles and plasma blasts. The Kthar respond with lethal precision, but humanity's unpredictability in combat begins to shine through. Human ships weave and dart, anticipating Kthar tactics and adapting on the fly. For the first time, the Kthar realize they are facing an opponent who fights unlike anything they have encountered. As the battle intensifies, Diaz's team finally retreats, the sabotage devices set to detonate in mere moments. The Kthar patrol ship is destroyed in a massive explosion, but the cost is high. The human fleet suffers heavy losses, and Diaz's shuttle, badly damaged, limps back to the safety of the Resolute. The first strike has been successful, but it came at a heavy price. Commander Knox, surveying the damage, knows the road ahead will be long and full of sacrifice. The Kthar may have underestimated humanity at first, but they will learn that humanity's tenacity and willingness to fight is not something to be taken lightly. The human fleet limps back to Earth's outermost colonies, nursing its wounds. The Kthar, however, are far from done. Their response is swift and brutal. Their fleet, already advancing toward human space, is now fully mobilized, and their retaliation strikes at several unprotected colonies on the fringes of human space. It's a show of power, a message to Earth: resistance is futile. Yet, despite the losses, humanity's resolve hardens. The success of the first strike, although costly, has had a profound effect. It wasn't just the sabotage that caused the Kthar's fury, it was the realization that humanity is willing to fight back, even against overwhelming odds. Earth's leadership begins to shift its focus. No longer will they try to placate or negotiate with the Kthar. This is now a war for survival, and every colony is a potential battleground. President Maria Sorin, watching the reports from the safety of Earth's capital, sees the strategic importance of the conflict. If the Cthar manage to overpower the frontier colonies, they will have a direct path to Earth itself. The next step is clear: humanity must organize a counteroffensive, drawing the Cthar into a decisive battle that can turn the tide in their favor. Commander Elijah Knox is called back to Earth for a critical strategy meeting. He is recognized as one of the brightest tactical minds of the fleet, and his victory in the asteroid strike has elevated his status. But even he knows that the human fleet is still no match for the sheer size and firepower of the Cthar war machine. It will take more than just military might to win. Knox suggests an unconventional approach. Instead of waiting for the Cthar to come to them, why not take the fight to the Cthar homeworld? The idea is audacious, but it could be humanity's best chance to cripple the Cthar war effort at its core. If they can launch a surprise strike at the heart of the Cthar's military infrastructure, they might force them to reconsider the war, or at least slow their advances significantly. The problem, however, is that the Cthar homeworld is deep within enemy-controlled space, guarded by fleets of warships and defended by highly advanced weaponry. A direct assault would be suicide. So, the plan evolves into a series of covert missions to disrupt the Cthar's outer defense perimeters, weaken their supply lines, and cause enough confusion within their ranks to create an opening for a full-scale strike. The plan is daring, dangerous, and fraught with risk, but it is the only option left. As humanity scrambles to gather its forces, Lieutenant Olivia Cole, the engineer-turned-saboteur, is assigned to the operation. She works closely with military intelligence to identify weak points in the Cthar's defenses. Her knowledge of human technology and her growing understanding of Cthar systems give her a unique advantage. For the first time, she begins to feel the weight of the war on her shoulders. The future of humanity may well rest on her ability to outwit the Cthar, and the pressure is immense. Meanwhile, in the distant reaches of the galaxy, the Cthar are not blind to the rising human threat. The Cthar High Command, led by the ruthless warlord Zivak, is enraged by humanity's resistance. Zivak, known for his strategic brilliance and unyielding pride, orders a series of retaliatory raids, hoping to break the spirit of the human defenders. But instead of crushing humanity's resolve, these raids only fan the flames of determination across human space. The more the Cthar strike, the more humanity bands together, fueling the fire of defiance. As the human fleet prepares for its next bold move, the news spreads throughout the colonies: humanity is not just surviving, they are fighting back. Across the galaxy, soldiers, civilians, and politicians alike unite under a single banner: the war is far from over, and Earth will not be defeated. The Cthar's arrogance in their assumptions of human weakness has proven to be their greatest mistake. And though the road ahead will be filled with hardships and losses, humanity's will to fight, to survive, and to rise up will prove that Earth is a force to be reckoned with in the galactic stage. The human fleet prepares for a mission unlike any before. After the devastating counterattacks on several colonies, Earth's leadership knows that a decisive victory against the Cthar is the only way to shift the balance of power in humanity's favor. Commander Knox, now entrusted with the full weight of humanity's military hopes, gathers his senior officers for a final briefing before the boldest strike of the war, an assault on the Cthar's outer defense line. Knox's plan is an intricate one. They can't face the Cthar head-on with their current forces, so they will strike indirectly. The goal is to infiltrate Cthar-controlled space and disable critical infrastructure. This will buy the human fleet enough time to mount a larger offensive, with the aim of breaking the Cthar's grip on the galaxy. The mission is far from straightforward. The Cthar defenses are not only formidable but extensive. Their warships patrol every sector, their orbital mines guard the approach routes, and their communication systems are highly secure. It will require everything the humans have: stealth, speed, and precision. Among the key players in the mission is Lieutenant Olivia Cole, now promoted to the position of Chief Engineer for the operation. Her task is to modify human technology to overcome Cthar systems, create new countermeasures, and ensure that every sabotage operation is as effective as possible. Cole spends countless hours alongside military engineers, pulling together cutting-edge modifications to the human fleet's cloaking technology, weapon systems, and even stealth drones capable of infiltrating the Cthar's inner strongholds. The plan calls for 3 coordinated strikes across different sectors of Cthar space. Each team will infiltrate a key Cthar installation, plant sabotage devices, and retreat before the Cthar can retaliate. The first target, a massive Cthar shipyard that produces the bulk of their warships. Disabling this facility could delay the Cthar's ability to replenish their fleet. The second target, a communications relay station deep in Cthar territory. Severing their communications would create confusion and slow their response time. Finally, the third target, a Cthar fuel depot on a barren moon. If humanity can destroy this critical resource, it will cripple the Cthar's ability to continue their war efforts. Despite the mission's high risks, morale among the human fleet remains high. The first victories, however small, have reignited a sense of unity across the colonies. Earth's leadership is in constant communication with the fleet, ensuring that every move is coordinated. A galaxy that once viewed humanity as weak and insignificant is now watching as the human race fights back with everything they have. As the fleet begins its jump into enemy space, tension builds. The Cthar are fierce, relentless, and unforgiving, and the human fleet is smaller, stretched thin, and struggling to maintain supply lines. But one thing is certain, humanity will not back down. The first strike is launched. The human fleet slips silently into the Cthar's outermost defenses. Their ships are cloaked and silent, cutting through the void with deadly precision. They reach the first shipyard without detection, and the ground team, led by Captain Valeria Diaz, begins planting the sabotage charges. Then, a transmission crackles through the fleet's communications system. It's a coded message from the Cthar. They've detected something unusual, a fluctuation in the asteroid field near the shipyard. The Cthar are closing in, and Diaz's team must complete their task and retreat before they're caught. Seconds become minutes, and Diaz's heart pounds as she supervises the final placement of the explosives. Knox watches from the Resolute, his mind racing. It's now or never. He orders the fleet to break formation and provide cover for Diaz's retreat. A firefight ensues as the Cthar ships arrive, massive warships equipped with destructive weapons designed to tear through human defenses. But the human fleet's unconventional tactics are paying off. Ships dart and weave, using the dense asteroid fields for cover. The Cthar, though superior in numbers and firepower, find themselves unprepared for humanity's guerrilla tactics. Knox's fleet, against all odds, holds its ground, giving Diaz's team the chance to escape. But as the shipyard detonates, a massive shockwave ripples through space, and the Cthar retaliate with fury. The humans are forced to retreat, narrowly avoiding annihilation. The mission is a success. Humanity has struck the Cthar at the heart of their war machine, but the cost is steep. The fleet takes heavy casualties, and many of Diaz's team are wounded in the retreat. However, the message has been sent. The Cthar are no longer dealing with a passive species, one willing to be ruled. Humanity is a force to be reckoned with, and they will fight until the last ship and soldier fall. With the first strike a success, the next phase of the operation begins, cutting off the Cthar's communications and fuel supply. The war is far from over, but humanity has taken its first significant step toward proving that it is not to be trifled with. In the aftermath of the successful attack on the Cthar shipyard, humanity's resolve is steeled. The first strike has proven that the Cthar are not invincible, but it has also shown just how costly the war will be. The Cthar are not quick to forgive, and their response is swift. Their retaliation comes in the form of a series of brutal counterattacks, targeting human colonies and military outposts across the galaxy. It's clear now that the Cthar see humanity not just as a threat, but as a direct challenge to their supremacy. Commander Elijah Knox watches the reports come in from all over human space. The Cthar are throwing everything they have at Earth's colonies, their massive warships moving through the galaxy with terrifying speed. The human fleet is spread thin, forced to defend multiple fronts at once. There's no time to rest, no time to regroup. Every available ship is being sent to defend humanity's borders, even as the next phase of the plan unfolds. The next strike is even more dangerous. Humanity is moving deeper into Cthar-controlled space, where the risks of detection are greater, and the Cthar forces are more concentrated. The target this time is a massive Cthar communications relay station located on a remote planet. This station is crucial for coordinating their entire war effort. Destroying it will disrupt their ability to respond quickly, making it harder for them to launch counterattacks or organize their fleet. It is an objective worth the risk. Lieutenant Olivia Cole is at the heart of the mission once again, working tirelessly with her team to modify human technology to infiltrate the Cthar's communication systems. Her expertise with sabotage and engineering is becoming legendary among the fleet. She has designed a specialized stealth drone, capable of infiltrating the heavily guarded communication station and uploading a virus that will destroy the Cthar's communication network from the inside out. However, this mission is even riskier than the first. The Cthar's defenses are much stronger here, and the station is surrounded by orbital mines, energy shields, and automated turrets. The operation begins with a series of diversionary tactics. Human ships, operating in tight formation, engage Cthar patrols far from the communication station's defenses. The goal is to pull Cthar forces away from their command post long enough for the stealth drones to reach their target. Nox oversees the operation from the Resolute's command deck, his focus unwavering as he monitors the battle. The diversionary forces are taking heavy casualties, but they are successful in keeping the Cthar distracted. Cole's drone, nicknamed Spectre, is deployed under the cover of the chaos. It glides through space with precision, its sensors scanning for weak points in the Cthar defenses. As the drone slips closer to the station, Cole's pulse races. This is the moment of truth. The virus must upload successfully, or the Cthar will detect it before it can do any damage. The first hurdle is the station's energy shields. Cole has programmed the drone to deploy a cloaking system, rendering it invisible to the Cthar's surveillance. For a few tense moments, the drone is undetected, but the shield continues to pulse with a faint glow that could reveal its position at any moment. Spectre drifts closer, inching its way toward the heart of the Cthar facility. At the same time, Nox's fleet fights desperately to hold the Cthar at bay. The Cthar are relentless, their ships charging forward with brutal efficiency. Nox knows that his fleet cannot last forever. He orders his remaining ships to fall back, using the narrow asteroid belts and debris fields as cover. The strategy is risky, but it gives Spectre the time it needs. The moment arrives. The virus begins to upload. Seconds feel like hours as the Cthar's network comes under attack. Suddenly, the communications relay station begins to flicker. Alarms sound, and the Cthar stationed at the facility scramble to identify the cause. But it's too late. The virus spreads through the system like wildfire, crippling their entire communications grid. The Cthar can no longer coordinate their movements. Their response times slow, their attacks become disjointed, and their fleet is thrown into disarray. The human fleet capitalizes on the opportunity, launching a full-scale offensive against the Cthar ships. With their communications shattered, the Cthar fleet is scattered, their once imposing presence now fractured and vulnerable. Human ships take advantage of the confusion, striking at key Cthar vessels and launching precise assaults on their fuel reserves. The battle is hard-fought, but humanity emerges victorious, dealing another devastating blow to the Cthar war effort. With the communication relay destroyed and their fleet thrown into chaos, the Cthar retreat to regroup. It is a major victory for humanity, one that shifts the momentum of the war in their favor. But even as Nox surveys the battlefield from his flagship, he knows that this is far from over. The Cthar are not finished yet. They will rebuild, adapt, and come back stronger. But humanity, having already proven its ability to adapt and fight back against all odds, stands ready for whatever comes next. The war is far from won, but one thing is certain: the Cthar now know that humanity is a force that cannot be easily dismissed. The galaxy will remember this war, and humanity's role in shaping its outcome. The Cthar are not known for their mercy. Their retreat after the destruction of their communications relay station was a strategic withdrawal, not a sign of defeat. They are regrouping, recalibrating their strategy, and reinforcing their fleets. Warlord Zivak, ever ruthless, has summoned his highest commanders to a war council to discuss humanity's growing resistance. Humanity, however, is not standing idle. Commander Elijah Knox's victory in the Cthar communications sabotage has emboldened the fleet, and President Maria Sorin now believes it's time to strike deeper into enemy space. The time has come to take the fight directly to the Cthar's heart, their homeworld, Xerix, the beating core of the Cthar Empire. The human fleet has dealt severe blows to the Cthar's logistical network, but taking their homeworld will deliver a blow to their morale that will be impossible to recover from. Knox's plan is one of audacity. He proposes an all-out assault on Xerix, but with a twist. Instead of a full-scale invasion, which would be met with an overwhelming Cthar defense, humanity's goal is to infiltrate their capital and strike at the core of their leadership. The Cthar Command Center, a massive complex buried deep beneath Xerix's surface, holds the keys to their military and political power. If humanity can eliminate the leadership, it could send the entire Cthar Empire into chaos. The operation is incredibly dangerous. Xerix is a fortress planet, heavily defended with orbital cannons, energy fields, and layers of defenses that would make any attack seem suicidal. But Knox's plan is simple. He will use a small, elite team of special operatives to infiltrate the heart of the Cthar Empire. Their goal will be to plant a series of high-tech explosives deep within the command center and ensure the destruction of the Cthar's leadership. Among the team is Lieutenant Olivia Cole, whose reputation for outsmarting Cthar defenses has only grown. She will be responsible for hacking into the Cthar's security systems and ensuring their access points remain open long enough for the team to make it inside. But Cole is not naive. She knows that Xerix's defenses will be unlike anything they've faced so far. As the human fleet begins its final preparation, nerves are on edge. Ships are refitted for the operation, with specialized stealth technology that will make them nearly invisible to the Cthar. The fleet takes a massive gamble, crossing into the most heavily patrolled sectors of Cthar space in an attempt to slip past the Cthar's outer defenses unnoticed. If they are discovered, the mission could fail before it even begins. Knox's flagship, Resolute, leads the charge, flanked by several other stealth ships. The mission begins under the cover of darkness, and the human fleet slips into the heart of Cthar space, evading detection as they move toward Xerix. With every passing minute, the tension mounts. The Cthar are ruthless, and their defenses are designed to detect the slightest anomaly. But humanity's tactics have become more refined, more unpredictable. They know the Cthar will be watching the skies, so they slip in, unseen, like ghosts in the void. Meanwhile, on the surface of Xerix, Warlord Zivak grows increasingly agitated. His scouts have reported unusual activity near the fringes of the planet's defense zone, but he dismisses it as a false alarm. He is certain that the humans are not bold enough to strike at the heart of his empire. But as the hours pass, a sense of unease grows within his war council. Inside the Cthar Command Center, preparations are underway for a counteroffensive against the human fleet. Zivak and his inner circle believe that humanity's last victory was a fluke, a temporary setback. They have underestimated humanity's resolve, and now they will pay the price. But just as Zivak gives the order to commence his fleet's retaliatory strike, disaster strikes. The small team of human operatives, led by Captain Valeria Diaz, infiltrates the underground Cthar Command Center. Using the distraction caused by the fleet's movements, they breach the first layer of security. Cole's expertise is crucial. Her ability to disable Cthar surveillance systems and access their command networks ensures that the team progresses deeper into the facility, undetected. Inside the heart of the Cthar Empire, the team plants the explosives, positioned to decimate the entire command structure. But just as they begin to make their escape, the Cthar detect the anomaly. The alarm sounds across the planet. The Cthar warlord's smug confidence falters, and he orders his entire fleet to mobilize. But it's too late. The bombs detonate with a power that rattles the very core of the Cthar leadership. Xerix shakes as the heart of the Cthar Command Center is obliterated in a blaze of fire and destruction. The Cthar Empire, leaderless and reeling from the loss of their central command, enters into chaos. Their fleets begin to scatter, their communications falter, and their once mighty empire begins to crumble from within. The human fleet, having played its part, now retreats, but the damage has been done. The Cthar, for the first time since the war began, are caught off guard. The Cthar Empire is broken, and humanity has delivered the decisive blow that could change the fate of the galaxy forever. The destruction of the Cthar leadership reverberates throughout the galaxy. The once mighty empire that had swept through star systems with an iron fist is now a fractured shadow of its former self. The Cthar fleet, once unified under a single vision, is now in disarray. Without their central command, the remaining warlords and generals fight to claim the throne, but none can match the strategic brilliance that the Cthar had once enjoyed under a single leader. Back in human space, the news of the destruction of Xerix and the Cthar command center spreads like wildfire. Earth's colonies, once gripped by fear, now breathe a collective sigh of relief. The Cthar, who had once ruled with such crushing dominance, are no longer the looming threat they once were. Humanity, against all odds, has proven that it is not a race to be trifled with. Commander Elijah Knox and President Maria Soren stand before a holographic map of the galaxy. The Cthar Empire is splintering, and the human fleet has moved to take advantage of the opening. The war is far from over, but humanity is now in a position of strength. The Cthar are scattered, vulnerable, and their remaining fleets are disorganized. Knox's fleet presses on, taking system after system that had once been under Cthar control. Each victory is hard-won, but humanity's ingenuity and determination continue to shine through. The tide has turned. With every passing battle, the humans prove that they are not just survivors, they are conquerors, willing to fight for their place in the stars. Lieutenant Olivia Cole, now a hero in her own right, reflects on the victories. The mission to destroy Xerix's command center had been a gamble, but it had paid off in ways no one could have predicted. She watches from her station aboard the Resolute as the Cthar fleet retreats further and further from human-controlled space. There are still pockets of resistance, but they are fading, one by one. The galaxy is shifting. Humanity has claimed its place among the stars. However, not everyone is content with the status quo. As the Cthar collapse, new factions begin to rise in their wake. Former allies of the Cthar, alien species who had once pledged their loyalty to the Cthar Empire, now look to fill the power vacuum left behind. These factions are not as powerful as the Cthar were, but their presence poses a new challenge for humanity. Commander Knox knows that the war is not over. But humanity is no longer the underdog. Earth's soldiers, having proved themselves in battle time and time again, are ready for the next challenge. The fleets have been bolstered, the colonies are united, and a new strategy is in motion, one of diplomacy and conquest. Humanity will not only protect what they have gained, they will build something greater. They will forge alliances, form new coalitions, and lead the charge in reshaping the galaxy into a place where they will no longer be hunted but respected. The war that proved humanity was not to be trifled with has changed the course of history. Earth, once a small, insignificant planet in the vast expanse of the universe, has now emerged as a power capable of shaping the future. The Cthar are defeated, but the galaxy is wide, and the challenges humanity will face are just beginning. Commander Knox stands on the bridge of the Resolute, his eyes fixed on the stars. The fleet is moving toward the next chapter of their journey, toward a new dawn for humanity in the stars. And though the battle is over, the war for the future of the galaxy has just begun.